Parents, are you unknowingly holding your kids back by always having the answers? Here's the surprising truth about why your guidance might be doing more harm than good. Let's challenge a common belief. A good parent always knows the answers. Sounds reasonable, right? But here's the problem. When you always provide the answers, you're not raising a problem solver. You're raising someone who depends on you to think for them. Think about it. Every time you step in to fix something, solve a conflict, or make a decision for your child, you're sending a subtle message. You cannot handle this on your own. Now, I get it. You want to help. You don't want them to struggle. But here's the unintended consequence. They don't learn how to think for themselves. They're missing out on developing critical skills, such as problem solving, creativity, and even resilience. And here's something we rarely admit. When you step in and fix everything for your child, who is it really for? Is it truly about protecting them? Or is it about protecting yourself? Because every time you solve their problems, you rob them of the chance to develop their own self-esteem, just to reassure yours. Let that sink in for a moment. Let's try something new right now. Think about the last time your child came to you with a problem. Did you immediately give the solution or take over the situation completely? Now, ask yourself, what would have happened if I would let them figure it out themselves? It's uncomfortable to imagine, isn't it? But discomfort is often where growth happens. So, if being a parent is not about giving the answers, what should you do instead? Let's dive into that. Let's talk about the difference between two mindsets, the fixer and the coach. When you're in the fixer mode, your instinct is to show up and save the day. It feels good in the moment. You solve the issue and your child is happy again. But here's the problem. Every time you fix something for them, you rob them of a chance to figure it out themselves. The coach, on the other hand, takes a very different approach. The coach doesn't step in with all the answers. Instead, they guide, ask questions, and support the team in finding the solution. The truth is, you don't need to solve their problems. They need you to teach them how to think, not what to think. Here's a simple framework to help you guide your child instead of fixing everything for them. Number 1, ask open-ended questions. Instead of saying, here's what you should do, try asking, what do you think is the best way forward? Or what have you already tried? These questions spark critical thinking and put the problem back in their hands. Number 2, encourage brainstorming without judgment. Help your child come up with multiple solutions, even the wild or impractical ones. For example, if they are struggling with a difficult teacher, they might say, I will just skip class. Instead of shutting them down, say, okay, that's one idea. What are some others? This creates a safe place for them to explore options. Number 3, help them evaluate their options. Once they have a few ideas, help them weighing the pros and cons. Ask, what might happen if you try this? Or which option feels more manageable for you right now? This teaches them how to analyze and choose wisely. Number 4, support them as they take action. The last step is crucial. Once they've picked a solution, encourage them to try it out. Let them know it's okay if it doesn't work. They can always learn and adjust. The next time your child brings you a problem, stop before you jump in. Instead, ask them an open-ended question and let them lead the conversation. Pay attention to how they respond. It might feel awkward at first, but trust me, the small shift will have a massive impact in their ability to grow. But what if they don't listen? What if they reject every idea and shut you out? Are you brave enough to let them fail? Because here's the truth. Failure is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of resilience. I know watching your child struggle might feel unbearable. It's instinctual to step in, to rescue, to make things better. But here's the paradox. If you always catch them before they fall, they never learn how to get up on their own. Failure is not something to avoid. It's something to embrace. It teaches resilience, the ability to bounce back when things don't go as planned. It fosters independence by helping kids realize they can figure things out without constant intervention. And most important, It sharpens problem-solving skills because they start learning to think critically about what went wrong and how to fix it. But I get it. Letting go feels risky. What if they fail too hard? What if it damages their confidence? These are the fears that haunt parents. But here's the refrain. Fear is not the villain. Fear is the coach. When approached the right way, every failure becomes a stepping stone towards success. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if they never recover from a mistake? What if they give up completely? But here's the key. Your job is not to prevent failure. It's to provide a safe place to process it. You're here to say, okay, this didn't go as planned. What can we learn from this? What's the next move? Instead of shielding them from the discomfort of failure, guide them through it. That's where real growth happens. When they see that failure is not fatal, they will stop fearing it. And that's when they start taking braver, bigger steps. Let's talk how you can start small. Don't throw them into the deep end immediately. Choose low-stakes scenarios where failure is manageable. For example, let them handle their own school projects, even if it means they might forget a key piece. Encourage them to solve minor conflict with a friend without your intervention. Encourage them handle a small responsibility at home, knowing mistakes might happen. When you give them the space to fail safely, they will build confidence in the ability to recover. And guess what? The stakes will not feel as high the next time. Take 5 minutes today and write down one fear you have about letting your child fail. What's the worst that can happen? Now, flip it. How could this failure actually help them grow? This is not just an activity, it's a mindset shift. When you start seeing failure as an opportunity, you will stop seeing it as something to protect them from. So, are you ready to let go of fear? Are you ready to let your child learn, grow, and thrive on their terms? If this resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe the channel and join my newsletter for more practical parenting tips. You will get tools, insights, and exercises like this one to help you raise resilient, independent kids. And if you're wondering, but what if they don't listen? Don't worry, we're tackling that next. Stay tuned.